Greetings and welcome to episode 146 of Game Chat with Bwana. I am your host, Bwana. Welcome to another episode of the gaming news for this for the last week. Couldn't even think of what to say right there. Welcome to the show. We got about 5 stories to talk about today. It's going to be a fairly quick show, maybe, if I don't ramble a lot. But we had a good week in gaming. I had some fulfillments to do for my goal-a-thon that I had on my live stream. And we played Baldur's Gate 2, which my community wanted me to get addicted to so I can play Baldur's Gate 3, but it didn't happen. I'm not a big CRPG fan, so I played it and I was like, okay, that's nice. That's nice. And then we also played Soma, which is a sci-fi horror game, which has puzzles and stuff, and I got stuck. And that was the end of that. So we tried it, though. We tried it. Both of those games I got free off of some Twitch promotion or something, so I didn't have to buy them. But it was fun. And all the other times, we played old school RuneScape, and I'm not addicted. No. Despite what you may think, we're not addicted. We're not addicted to old school RuneScape. But we got a great show lined up for you for Game Chat episode 146. I hope you all have been enjoying the show. 145 has some pretty good stories in it. I was happy with how it turned out. We also have been promoting the show through our YouTube shorts. So if you haven't already, please click that subscribe button below and click the like button if you're enjoying the show. I appreciate that. We also been promoting it on Twitter as well. So we've been posting little shorts of each of our stories up there so we can get the show out to more people. Tell your friends about Game Chat with Bwana. Let's get into it. And for our first story, we're going to talk about Final Fantasy XIV, which is one of my favorite MMOs, if not my favorite, all-time favorite. It's up there. It's in the top 5. And FanFest just kicked off in Las Vegas. It just ended a couple of days ago, or actually it ended yesterday. And I think it was met with some good feedback from a lot of people. I have a couple of community members that were there. Nothing but good things were said. A lot of things were announced, including the big expansion that's coming out next summer called Dawn Trail. Dawn Trail, a big teaser trailer was released for that, and there's a lot of information about that that came out regarding the origins of it. Essentially, the Warrior of Light is on vacation because he's been trying to save the universe for 12 expansions, so it's time for a little break. But there's also going to be some challenges as well. They also announced that Stormblood is going to be coming as part of the free trial as of version 6.5. So the meme is going to have to be updated. We are no longer going to be talking about how the critically acclaimed Heavensward is going to be included in the free trial. We're going to be talking about the award-winning Stormblood is going to be included as well. So a lot of free game has just been expanded. Also, the graphics are going to get updated for this expansion as well. They showed off a lot of stuff. So the whole thing, if you haven't checked it out, there's stories all over the internet. You can check out the trailer on YouTube as well. Big updates are coming. But what I want to focus on for Game Chat is that Final Fantasy XIV is coming to Xbox next spring. This is going to be kind of a big deal. And I remember when Final Fantasy XIV was initially announced, I was kind of surprised that it wasn't on Xbox because Final Fantasy XI, those of you who may remember, was on all 3 platforms. It was on PC, it was on PlayStation 2, and it was on Xbox 360. And it was one of the few true cross-platform MMOs that was in existence back then. There wasn't that many of them out there. So there was a lot of rumors and speculation about why this hasn't come to Xbox yet. I mean, some say it was technical, some say it was political. Who knows? But on stage, when Yoshi P got up there with Phil Harrison, what's his face? Phil, let's call him Phil Xbox. Yes, Phil Xbox. Phil Harrison is Sony. It's a Phil. It's some Phil. When he got on stage up there with Yoshi P looked really happy. It was like a big sigh of relief that they finally got this done. This article over on Engadget talks about it. Microsoft has been eager to add Final Fantasy games to its catalog in 2019. To its catalog. In 2019, it added 10 titles to Game Pass that include many of its releases from 7 through 15. The deluge did include 14, however, leaving Xbox players without an active MMO. The game debuted on PS3 and PC in 2013 with ports to PS4, Mac, PS5, and subsequent years. The incentives are clear. Final Fantasy XIV helps court fans of the series, particularly those left out of the time PS5 exclusive Final Fantasy XVI. It's also attempt to reach out to both Japanese gamers and JRPG enthusiasts. Microsoft has been long trying to capture the Japanese audience, and I don't think they've quite done it yet. I think this is going to be a step in the right direction to kind of marry the Xbox to a sort of Western/Eastern game. This Final Fantasy XIV is probably more popular. It is more popular in the West than it is over there in Japan, but it is still popular over there. A lot of Japanese players play Final Fantasy XIV, and they love it. So it's going to support 4K and fast SSD, just like the PS5. So that's cool. That's cool. More players are going to be coming to the game. But I don't know. Now, I got to thinking about this. I'm like, how many players out there who have Xbox Series X and S, which is going to support, are just screaming right now, going, I can finally play Final Fantasy XIV. I imagine those players who wanted to play Final Fantasy XIV have already tried it because there was a free demo on PC for a very long time. They've already tried it. And I think most of them are either playing it or have tried it. So I don't know if this, I know what Sony is, I'm not Sony, I know what Microsoft is trying to do here. And I know that Square Enix is trying to get more players. I know what they're trying to do. But I fear that it won't be that many players. I fear that it won't be as many players as they're anticipating, because I really think a lot of these players have already tried the game. I've been wrong about this before, because when the demo got updated to encompass Heavensward as well, I knew a lot of people were going to try it, but I didn't think a lot were going to try it in the capacity that happened. You know what I mean? I don't think I anticipated how many people were actually going to download that demo. I was like, man, that's a lot of game. That was my comment back then. I was like, that's a lot of game, man. It's going to be a lot of MMO to play. And to my surprise, a ton of people downloaded. So I have been wrong before. I could be wrong about the number of Xbox players who who probably don't have a good enough PC to support Final Fantasy XIV. Maybe trying it on the Xbox Series X and S. Also, since the graphics update is going to be coming next summer on 7.x, which is the Dawn Trail. It's going to be on the Dawn Trail expansion. Since the system requirements are going to be elevated, people may want to opt into a console experience, because if you haven't played Final Fantasy XIV on console, it's one of the better ones. They did a really good job of marrying the controller to the MMO experience. It's one of the best implementations I've ever seen. It's probably the only one I can probably tolerate. That includes Elder Scrolls Online. That includes all the other MMOs that have come to console. I think Final Fantasy XIV's implementation is probably the best. So Final Fantasy XIV is coming to Xbox next summer. It's happening. I didn't see it coming. I think it was a surprise. They did it at the very, very end of the keynote, and it was a really long segment. Let me tell you, that segment could have been 10 minutes, and it ended up being over 30. They really made a big deal out of this, so I think they were very excited about it. My hopes is that they add it to Game Pass, because currently it's not been mentioned. Nothing has been mentioned about Game Pass, and this is not a new game. Final Fantasy XIV has been around quite a while. So I'm hoping they add some kind of incentive to do Game Pass with Final Fantasy XIV, like at least include like Endwalker, or not necessarily the newest expansion, but include up to like the last expansion in Game Pass, and have people pay their own subscriptions, and have keep the newest expansion pay only. Some kind of incentive to get people to Game Pass. I can tell you, man, Game Pass has a lot of pull, has a lot of attractive offers, and if they can put some MMOs behind it and cover the monthly fee, then it starts to sound like a really, really good bargain, to one of those bargains like, okay, I'm just not going to pass this up. Because you are paying a monthly fee for your MMO. So if they can like, if that Game Pass fee can eat that MMO fee, I would probably be very tempted to get Game Pass at that point. Check it out over on Engadget.com. They got the details. Final Fantasy XIV is coming to Xbox next spring. And for our next story, we're going to talk about Diablo IV and Blizzard. And this one's kind of ironic, because this is one of the companies, Blizzard, that made modding, modding games, and the whole thing with Dota, which stemmed from a mod from Warcraft, and just the whole StarCraft modding scene, and how Blizzard has a track record of really embracing modding. That in this Diablo realm, you know, Diablo 2 had a lot of mods, but we saw a departure from that in Diablo 3 where they went online only, and how modding just kind of got thrown in the backseat. So the tradition continues with Diablo 4, as Blizzard has said that modding Diablo 4 can result in a permanent account ban. Wow. They're singling out a single mod called Turbo HUD for Diablo 4, which improves the UI for the game. And if you're caught using Turbo HUD for Diablo 4, you are going to get permanently banned. Blizzard recently stressed that using any mods in Diablo 4 is forbidden. All mods, no matter how benign their effects, are treated the same as cheating and can lead to permanent account suspension. This is crazy. This Turbo HUD actually is a paid mod, and it includes everything, including a plugin manager, which is crazy. It changes how players can see the game map, resources, missed items, aspect names, and performance data. The mod isn't free. It requires a $12 a month subscription on the Discord server. So that's how you can play Turbo HUD, but I imagine it's going to be an underground thing. I think Blizzard probably might come after this Discord that's hosting this and charging for it, because they might have grounds to do that, especially since they're charging for it. With the EULA and the terms of service and all that stuff. So we'll see how this all turns out. But it's just odd that this company has done an about face. It's just, they started out as being the face and champions of modding. And now, through the advent of live service games, online only games, we're seeing that whole part of gaming being stifled and destroyed. And Blizzard is taking part of it. And it's a sad thing to see, because some of the best games out there started from mods. Counter-Strike Go, Dota 2, League of Legends, all started as mods. And they're still the biggest esports games today. Those three titles right there. And they came from mods. So the future of gaming doesn't look good if we can't get any kind of modding platforms out there from bigger companies like Blizzard, because Blizzard propelled esports to where it is today, especially in Korea, especially with StarCraft. Esports would not be where it is without the early efforts of Blizzard. I'm convinced of that, because while esports was a thing, it was underground, and Blizzard definitely made it more mainstream than what it was prior to that. But I think this new Blizzard is going to be taking an opposite approach. I think they're going to be taking hands off of mods, and this is ours. We got to maximize revenue. And we got to make Activision Blizzard money. Now Microsoft, because Microsoft's going to be buying all this stuff. So it's just another thing, man. Another week, another segment of Bwana ranting about how live service games are ruining a lot of what we're doing in terms of like gaming innovation. Check it out, man. Over on techspot.com, they got the details. Blizzard is banning modding now. One of the companies that's championed it, one of the companies that made it popular, is now banning for modding in Diablo 4. And for our next story, we're going to be talking about old school RuneScape. I've been playing a lot of it. I've been playing a ton of it. And this story over here by Jake Sucky talks about the biggest bank ever in old school RuneScape. 500 billion GP. This is massive. Apparently, this guy he's talking about in this video made all this money by death matching. And I'm not completely sure what death matching is in RuneScape, but I think it has to do with some kind of internal wagering or something like that, staking, I guess you can say, that's going on. And I don't know what it all entails, but apparently it's a semi-legal activity that this guy's doing, and he made it all. He said he went from 500 million GP to 500 billion, which is absolutely insane. Now I got a few million, actually a lot of million GP donated to me by viewers, because you know there's a lot of rich people in the game, and they want to see newbies succeed, so they'll throw money at streamers who are not running Iron Man counts. So, and I thought I was rich. I'm like, yeah, I'm rich. But I also I had some goals where I wanted to make billions. I'm like, I want to eventually get into the game and get into some money-making schemes and make billions, so that I can not only pay that money back to those people who gave it to me, but also help new people as well. I can be the opulent player running around handing out billions to new players. So I wanted to do that. So when I heard it was 500 billion, I'm like, oh, well, I got a ways to go. My little millions, my little chopping down trees and doing little things here and there, doing my little questing and my Slayer tasks and all this stuff. Ooh, it's going to take a little bit to get that amount of money, but apparently this is a good money making thing. And he's got all these platinum pieces, which I've never heard of until this video, which are how people can consolidate all their money without going over stack limits. So they basically get millions and millions of gold pieces, and they convert them to these platinum pieces, which are worth like millions of gold pieces. It's just a language I'm not used to as an old school RuneScape newbie. So man, this is crazy. Jake Sucky has an article over here, or he has the video talking about this guy, and it's just crazy that this amount of money can be made just by doing that kind of activity in the game. Check it out. It's over on YouTube. I'll link it in the show description about how this player in old school RuneScape has made 500 billion GP. The legend of Glorbo returns. This time in Destiny 2, if you watched Game Chat 1 episode 145, you may remember my story where I talked about how these WoW players wrote up a fake article to try to lure in some AI crawler bots to write some fake stories, and apparently it doesn't in there. The legend of Glorbo continues. Destiny 2 fans have done the same thing, and they posted to Reddit a very similar thing, except this time Glorbo is some sort of a new feature that has a mysterious secret boss. And they said, anyone see how Bungie foreshadowed Glorbo? For those unaware, Glorbo was foreshadowed in the King's Fall raid when it was reprised. During the Golgoroth Maze section, there is a mural on the wall that's similar to how Val had the mural for the Veil. It showed Glorbo standing about the Taken King, taking King similar to the boss fight. And there's another place how Glorbo ruined the game. And sure enough, somebody picked it up. Another site, another AI crawler bot, picked it up. What's Glorbo Destiny 2? All you need to know. So these AI crawler bots, which just scrub the internet for news, have been caught once again. Very low brow effort, and I'm telling you, man, I really think these sites are making a lot of money too off of advertising, because they have got the SEO down to a science. The keywording, they show up at the top of the search results. And they just know what to do, man. And it's all automated. There's no human behind this except someone paying the bills. And that's probably automated too. But it's sad, man. If this keeps up, man, Glorbo's, I'm telling you, it's gonna grow. It's gonna fan out. And Glorbo's gonna become real due to the fake Glorbo. I told you Blizzard might actually do it in WoW because of the fake Glorbo. So now you might get some kind of a Glorbo item or a Glorbo thing in Destiny 2. As well. It's kind of funny how fast it's caught on. Like, that story is barely a week old, and yet again Glorbo spreads once more. Check it out over on Polygon.com. They got the details. Destiny 2 fans board the Glorbo train, helping trick AI written websites. Crazy. And that concludes episode 146 of Game Chat. I want to thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please click the subscribe button, click the like button. I appreciate it. You can also watch and listen over on Spotify.com. I'm available over there as well. I also want to take this time to thank my patrons over at patreon.com/Bwana. Thank you so much, patrons. You guys make it happen. You contribute to this particular project, as well as my 3D printing endeavors, as well as my live stream and all of my online content creation. So thank you so much. We produce this show every Sunday, and we give you the week's worth of gaming news. I don't know why my accent just changed there. The week's worth of gaming news, and also we do another podcast called Print All the Things. And I'm a few episodes behind on Print All the Things. I haven't had a chance to 3D print a whole lot the last couple of weeks. We've been very busy, and we've been kind of not addicted to old school RuneScape. So don't tell my boss about that. Wait, you're my boss. Thanks for listening to the show. I'll see you guys next week, and if you got any stories you want to submit, I didn't mention this in the beginning. I need to. Join our Discord over at discord.gg/Bwana. I have a feedback section. So if you got any gaming stories you want to share with me, you can share them in the comments too of the video. But we have a specific thread built over on Discord under the feedback where you can submit stories. So if you want me to talk about something on Game Chat, want to go to the Discord, pop it in there, and I will take a look at it. All right. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.